Now man, that bottle's my kryptonite. Brings a man to steal down to his.
My name is Marty Martin. Welcome to the No Bullshit Show. Today we have Hector Delgado. I look over at Hector, I start smiling because we met a couple of times in this world and we didn't realize it till after the fact. We're like, wait a minute, I know you. I'm going to make this fast and furious because we got important topics to talk about. A few years ago, there were some knuckleheads in my neighborhood in Delray Beach, Florida. I'm not going to give away a lot of details because they're all in jail now, and I don't, actually bring it. I don't give a shit. So the bottom line is had this house, and it was off pattern. I kept seeing different cars come up. I saw a boat out back. It would leave at night, and I'm thinking, I'm not stupid. These idiots, they're going to be running dope and women and human trafficking across the street from me. They picked the wrong neighborhood. So I contacted our local law enforcement and federal law enforcement, and they sent these distinguished gentlemen to come out and knock on my door and talk to me about what I'd seen. And to my right is the distinguished gentleman, federal law enforcement officer at the time, who came over, and I said, there's some knuckleheads across the street. I'm sure. I watch the Tradecraft. They go up the street. They make their phone calls, blah, blah, blah. They have terrible Tradecraft. They think no one's watching. I'm watching.
That's right.
And it's a shit show. Sure enough, so Hector comes in my office. He sees my war room. There's seal paddles, some SF stuff everywhere. And then Hector looks at me and goes, I know you. I know you. And so that was actually, we ran into each other when he was with the SEALs in Iraq and et cetera, because I was relatively senior going in, out and about. We ran into each other then. Obviously, we lost contact, did have that personal relationship, but now we are reunited. So anyway, Hector, welcome to have you.
It's awesome being here. Great to see you. And I tell that story all the time. And those guys are still in jail, so all good.
Let them out.
I got your back. You know that I got your back.
Give them my address. I got something for them.
I got you. I got you, brother.
No, anyway, it's great having you today. And obviously, we can. You're from. I'm not going to make fun of you too much. I do make fun of him a little bit when the SEALs have a tendency too many donuts. And every now and then I say, I got to check your donut intake.
I forgot my sunglasses. I know SEALs right now is sleep, eat, and lift. Is that what it stands for? Is that what you're telling us? No, it's great to be here. And, I'm kind of a unicorn with that SEAL background and federal law enforcement, serving both 29 years, both in active and reserve components. And when not serving as a SEAL, serving for, as a special agent with Homeland Security. So, a lot of interesting stories. I'm both with both organizations, and but I'm here and I'm retired, and now I'm doing something. Now I'm giving back,
and we'll go in that. We also worked with Hector on the SEAL Museum. It's great up at Fort Pierce, SEAL Museum, SEAL UDT Museum. It's a great place to visit your family and show a lot of respect and give to the SEAL Foundation up there. And we work together on that as well. But more importantly, we've talked about the fun stuff. And it's fun, not fun, but service. It's the boys stuff. It's what we do. We go out, we shoot, we chase bad guys. We lose some of our brothers, and we come back and we try to get on with life. What Hector's doing, I'm going to let him go into more details these days, is what happens when you come back. All right. And many of our young men and women, they come back, and it's not just one particular organization, not just SEALs, it's not just SF, it's across the board, including CIA, all come back when they're in those war zones. Human nature mostly is not designed to see that sort of trauma over and over again. And we forget, we were at war for over 20-something years, okay? And before, if you were in special forces or one of the special teams, you would go in and out and back and be done and tell your war stories till the next time, a year or two. But our warriors were in and out again and again and again and again and again. And that is a lot of trauma exposure. And human nature, it's got to take its toll somewhere. A lot of times it's on the families. A lot of times it's on the soldiers and the sailors themselves. But I'll let and Hector is working a lot to help. Now that they're back, what do we do?
Yeah. Well, we have, when I say we, I'm speaking in general with SOF and with others, but mainly SOF. You've got these guys that are doing God's work overseas, 20 plus years in the GWOT, Global War on Terrorism. And now we're sort of in a dwell. And here they come. They are coming back. And they want to be a father. They want to be a husband. But marriages are in disrepair. Kids don't even know who they are. And, and then not only that, with the family troubles and challenges, you've got this behavior. You've got stellar soldiers, SEALs, airmen that are starting to behave differently. Why is that? And it's because of these IEDs. It's because, and I was speaking earlier with one of my teammates about the AT-4s we used to shoot. Let's do 10 before lunch and 10 after lunch. Well, that's not, the standard. This is old school. We didn't have the sports medicine and all these regulations. We were just training, and now things are wrong. And the Navy and the military, the VA, they don't have the time, the patience, or they just let's put another guy in there. Let's get another chief. You just go on the side. Let's remove that clearance, and that just kind of trickles down. Let's remove guns. And if the VA is going to give you a bag of narcotics and strip your clearance, this is where suicides are coming, and becoming more and more prevalent. So it's been difficult. We as a museum, it's not only a brick and mortar. We have a Trident House. We have a number of veterans that come through, not only SEALs. They may need, and this is coming to visit. This is right here in Fort Pierce. They're coming to visit, but they need medical help. They need emotional help. They may need financial help. So we're starting to become a resource, not so much that we run those programs, but for me to pick up a phone to another foundation, to another organization that has that program. So instead of competing with our fellow charities, we're starting to work very closely with them and get the help, for these guys. That's
interesting because a lot of times, a lot of these entities operate, independent. They're not in church. But I guess because of the growing problem, there's a synergy. Yeah. The synergy that happens among individuals, among teams, are now happening among the community and these type support elements.
Yep. And of course, the movies, the TVs, the books. We all talk about, the service members, right? And whether it's the SEALs, Rangers, Delta, Green Berets. But what about those families? What about the kids? What about the wives? They're at war. I can tell you when I was over in Iraq, the garbage disposal broke. You can tell the anger. It's my fault, and
probably was.
Actually. Oh, well, I'm sure it was. But, and we try and do our best. I can tell you I was served with SEAL Team 3 and Task Unit Bruiser in 2006. I mean, we were getting it on up until the end. And yes, do they bring out the chaplain? Absolutely, 2 weeks beforehand. And for some of those married guys like myself who were a little bit more mature, we were able to, when we got back, sure, I'm holding my daughter. It could have been a doll. My mind wasn't there. To go get the help, to go get the therapy, I did it. But what about my other guys who didn't and got into trouble, sitting at a bar? 2 weeks ago, they're doing God's work overseas. Now they're at a bar, and that trigger just goes off, and now they're sitting in a jail cell. So getting the help to these guys to be able to convert and to be able to come back into society and either transition out or to transition and just have a smooth transition back into the team is important. But we were moving fast back then, and now we are in a dwell, and hopefully we can fix some of those problems internally within our SEAL teams and within SOF and SOCOM in general.
No, that's extreme important, and I'd just like to offer it as we move forward in the show. This show as the no bullshit show keeps going and gets bigger. If there's any help, if any of those entities want to come on, explain a specific problem, a specific need that can be addressed, we'd love to focus on that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, this is for me and you, because we do have a history. This is therapy for me, okay? And I noticed this past weekend, I was at an event called Swim with a Mission, where a number of SEALs got together to support a very good charity up in New Hampshire for the veterans. And these SEALs came from all over. And we also had a couple other guys, a couple Army guys and Air Force guys. And coming together and haven't seen each other for a long time is therapy as well. Now, we're there to support and raise money for our veterans, work with the donors, but you can see the interaction that these guys are having with each other and just telling stories. I mean, I remember my Buds classmate was there, and we were talking about how we were in Buds in first phase during Hell Week, and we had our 6 enlisted men, 1 boat crew leader who was an officer. And this man, he was Mr. Rodriguez. He was half native, half Mexican. Buds and the instructors started putting these empty beer cans, these fucking beer cans, inside the boat. So when we dumped the boat, the beer cans would fall out. And at first, day 1, 5 days no sleep. Day 1, we thought it was funny. Day 2, sort of a joke. Wednesday comes, we keep dumping boats. The cans are coming out. By Thursday, lack of sleep, toenails are falling off. We start planning to murder him. That's the plan. We have to. Mr. Rodriguez is drinking, and we need to neutralize this guy because we're paying for it. Every time a boat can comes off, we have to do push-ups, hit the surf. So, and of course, the instructors are watching us. They know what they're doing. And my buddy and I were talking about it this weekend. And yeah, I was going to hit him over the head. He was going to take his K-Pock off, and we're just going to let him go off into the distance. And of course, they pulled him early because he had chafed, and he was a hard man, and they pulled him early. I had to get rid of him because we were either going to kill him or he was going to die and bleed out. But those are the kind of stories. Like, going back to humor.
With all due respect, you still got some issues, man. That's some issues.
Don't worry. I promise I won't be writing a book after this one.
yeah. You guys like writing books. You got the D boys. You never see a book or anything.
I'm actually known as the guy who did not kill Bin Laden.
Oh, I like it. I'm actually known as well. We won't go down that road, but in all seriousness, it's interesting. I didn't realize this until I came back from some traumatic stuff, and I've lost obviously to my career as you have. We've lost some good friends along the way, and I was unfamiliar. You're a tough guy. You button it up. Right? You button it up, you buckle it down, you keep moving. But inside, you keep wondering, like, okay, there was a guy on my left and there was a guy on my right, and they got hit. How come I didn't? And survivor's remorse. And I never really was not that familiar with the term. And my organization said, one time, because I was a big pusher of, look, our folks are coming back from overseas. They need help. Yeah. They need help. Yeah. I need not the normal psychologist. We need help. Yeah. These are young folks, and they're coming back, and they've witnessed stuff, and we got to get on to it. And very quickly, one of the seniors, psychologists and therapists, one day just it was after hours, and I was going through things with her, and I'll never forget. It was almost like a seasoned case officer. She worked me. And to this day, I told her she worked. She pushed for the wall to come down, and that was a shattering personal experience for me. As I explained to her, I lost this guy. How come I'm not that guy?
I can relate to that. And I'll share a quick story. In 2006, at SEAL Team 3. I was running a talk at the time at the Tactical Operations Center, and we had guys on a roof in Ramadi, Iraq. A grenade was tossed on the roof, and a SEAL did not, he didn't think twice. He knew what happened. He looked at the grenade and dove on the grenade. And this is someone that, without hesitation. And that's what teams are about, right? And he ended up dying. He's a recipient of the Medal of Honor. His name's Mike Mansour. But, in that position, you start thinking, should I have pulled him off the roof earlier? Could I have done? Could have, as that talk, we have resources to help our frogmen out in the field. So, you go through that process and for years sometimes. And I think for all of us, like you just mentioned, you lost guys, I think once a day, something flashes through your mind for a second. You remember that time, you cope with it now differently. And I also recognize there's the way these generations cope with things are different. I know my instructors, the guys who put me through training and all, the Vietnam vets, and even World War II guys, how they coped with stuff, they kept it inside. And even my generation, we just weathered through. But I see a difference with this younger generation. And I'm not saying they're softer. I just think that
they're softer.
Okay, they are softer, but they need to cope with it a certain way. And if we can provide them the resources to save those families, then I support it. But it's just something we're going to have to deal with and take it one day at a time.
Well, thank God right now we're at a breather. We're not at war. We're not at war, and we have a time to try to heal the ones who went to war for us. Right. As we all know, the president he places a big emphasis on take care of our vets. But you and I both know the politicians say take care of our vets up here, but it's for organizations like yours and Havens Farm, yes, and others that focus on the mission, getting it done. That's in one way or the other.
Yeah, I think like you just mentioned, Havens Farm, and we have to look right now at this technology. How are these kids going to come back and survive as AI is coming and taking these jobs, or how can we retrain them? How can we put them in a position where they can continue to, do something for their families and survive and give themselves some type of therapy? So this is what we're doing at the museum. We run a number of programs up there besides the legacy of the Navy SEAL, the Frogman. We have a Trident House where families that are in disrepair, we can fly them down.
I remember when you opened that up.
Yeah, because you spoke at one of our events. And now that house, we're able to put people there on a weekly basis, get these families to reconnect. It's a house of respite. And then you've got the memorial, which is the only Navy SEAL memorial in the world that sits right behind the museum. So they can come down with no agendas, and they can see their father or their son on the wall. And then, of course, you take a tour throughout the museum. So that is the museum in Fort Pierce. We have another museum in San Diego.
I was about to ask you, didn't you open that up?
It's opening on October 4th.
All right.
And we're giving the West Coast Frogs and the SEALs over there an opportunity to have their own museum. It's going to be one museum, 2 locations, but it's right there downtown San Diego. And again, guys, it's not only the SEAL. We call ourselves a SEAL team because it is a team. We have our Night Stalkers who fly us, best pilots in the world. We've got our SWIC personnel who get on the boats. We've got our radio. We've got our complete package of non-SEALs that deploy with us. So we take care of each other. They're our family, and it is a true SEAL team.
A humbling moment for me was I used to go to DAMNet a lot in my job coordinating with the group there, the team, dev group, and senior personnel there. They made the mistake of inviting me back about 4 or 5 times to be a guest speaker at one of their mid-operator seminars. But one thing that struck me when I initially started going there was a small makeshift memorial of the SEALs who had been lost. It was literally makeshift, not right there, right? And the last time I went back, I almost break up thinking about it. The last time I went back was a huge monument, and where it had been like 10 or 11 names there on that makeshift memorial. Now it was a lot more. Yep. It was a lot more names. A lot more names. It had a piece of the World Trade Center yes. there, yep. But it's a huge and it's a well done memorial. But it just struck me when I was standing there of the many years earlier I'd gone and it was a small memorial. Yeah. And of course, all those names that I read on the walls, I knew most of them.
That's right.
Which is scary.
It is.
But again, we thank you for what you're doing. And again, it's something I believe now's the time for it to be done. We've had a lot of our soldiers and sailors kill themselves, and taking one's life is never that It doesn't have that can't be the solution.
Right.
We have to give them more than that. And we have a president, and we have obviously with organizations like yours, Havens Farm, that maybe we can put a real good effort in making this happen.
This suicide is unacceptable. What's happening? The numbers are unacceptable. We need to check on each other. We have to have a buddy check, a swim buddy check. You have to recognize the signs when these folks are doing things. They're giving away their property. They're making decisions. You have to pick up on these signs, and you got to have an emergency plan. The wives, girlfriends, the family members are so important. But they need to know that, yes, I can call his swim buddy. I can call this person. There's an outlet.
I don't have to call the police.
That's right.
I don't have to call somebody who doesn't have a clue what's going on.
We've taken guys when things have gone south and taken them to ayahuasca, giving them some type of alternative therapies that the VA and the government's not going to do. It works differently for different guys. So we need to look out for each other. And I'm not only saying the SEAL team. I'm saying my SOF community, my SOCON community, my veterans in general. Look for those signs. Have a plan, and don't be. You're not going to. I'd rather you piss them off and we save their lives and we fix them, than let someone die.
No, wait a minute. You offer ayahuasca?
Well, we'll talk about that offline, all right?
You're going to ask me to go down and run around naked with a shaman?
The van is waiting. It's on outside.
In Costa Rica? Huh? Because I heard they said open your boxes up in your brains. I said, you don't want to open my boxes up. We need to leave those boxes closed.
Too many national secrets in that.
Yeah, we just need to leave it closed. But thank you very much for coming, and I hope to have you back. And God bless what you're doing, and let us know if we can chip in or give a word for you on future casts.
Absolutely.
Future shows. Thank you.
You got it.
God bless you.